Hello, my name is Carllnisha Bullard, and I'm coming to you on behalf of the Danville Church-based tutorial program. Today, we will be working with cause and effect in fiction and converting between measurements in the metric system for math. Let's get started. Cause and effect is one way that the author organizes their writing. The author tells you what happened in a situation and explains why it happened. A sentence, paragraph, or a whole article can have a cause and effect structure. The cause and effect drives the events in a story. The cause is why something happened, and the effect is what happened. Here's an example. It started raining, so I needed an umbrella. That's cause and effect. One important thing about cause and effect is that authors or the writers do not always put the cause first and the effect second. Sometimes they mix it up. Here's an example. Justin got rich because he invented some awesome sneakers. And then the cause and effect is mixed up or reversed. Because he invented some awesome sneakers, Justin got rich. What happened? Justin got rich. Why? Because he invented some sneakers. That does not change. However, the order that they are written does. Signal words often come before a cause or an effect and can help you identify causes and effects. Here are a few examples of signal words for cause: because, since, as a result of, due to. Words that signal effect: so, therefore, consequently, thus, and as a result. Sometimes with cause and effect, you may have more than one cause. Sometimes you may have more than one effect. So let's review quickly again. So to identify the effect, you should ask yourself, what happened? To recognize the cause or identify the cause, you should ask yourself, why did it happen? Let's look at this example. Because Casey practiced shooting free throws for 2 hours a day, she won the free throw competition. As a result of winning, she got to meet her favorite basketball player. So, when you are identifying the cause and effect, you should first, a tip that I have is to identify the effect. Ask yourself, what happened? So, Casey won a free throw competition. That's your effect. Why did she win the competition? Let's go back into the paragraph. Let's see, Casey won the free throw competition, and here it is. She won the free throw competition because she practiced shooting free throws 2 hours a day. In this paragraph, there's also another cause and effect. As a result of winning, she got to meet her favorite basketball player. So what happened? She got to meet her favorite basketball player. Why did she get to meet her favorite basketball player? Because she won the free throw competition. It really helps if you find the effect first and then ask yourself why it happens. Let's practice. Pause the video and read the paragraph. Alex always threw everything into his desk and cubby without organizing it. He never used any of his folders he was given and constantly misplaced his classwork and homework. Every time he went into his desk, his things would fall out. This paragraph has multiple causes and multiple effects. Let's think about the first one. What happened? Alex constantly misplaced his homework and classwork. Now, to identify the cause or recognize the cause, let's ask ourselves, why did he constantly misplace his classwork and homework? Pause the video and think about it, or write it down. He constantly misplaced his classwork and homework because he never organized his things or used his folders. Let's identify the next effect. Pause the video, reread the paragraph, and write it down or just think about it. Every time Alex went into his desk, his things would fall out. Next, ask yourself, why did it happen? Why did his things fall out of his desk every time he went into it? His things would constantly fall out because he threw everything into his desk and cubby. Let's practice one last time on cause and effect. Pause the video and read the paragraph. Pause the video and read the paragraph. Gary helped his mom set up for the dinner party each year. This year, he was in charge of the gift bags. He knew the candy was for the guests, but he just couldn't resist having just one piece. Hours later, Gary had over 20 pieces of candy. As he was finishing up the gift bags, Gary noticed that he had ran out of candy. His mom knew she bought enough to fill each bag. His mom had to run to the store to get more so that the candy bags would be finished. Later that night, Gary became sick with a tummy ache. Now let's go through the paragraph and identify the effect. What happened? Let's identify a few. Gary's mom had to get more candy from the store, and Gary became sick with a tummy ache. Now, there's one cause for both of these effects. Gary's mom had to get more candy from the store, and Gary became sick with a tummy ache. Why did these things happen? These things happened because Gary ate over 20 pieces of candy that was meant for the gift bags. As you are reading sentences, paragraphs, short text, or stories, always remember that the cause is the why and the effect is the what. What happened and why did it happen? Oftentimes, you may have more than one effect and you may have more than one cause, and they are not always in order from cause to effect. Next, we're going to work on converting measurements between the metric system. Let's look at some vocabulary. Convert means to change. The metric system is a system of measurement that uses the meter, liter, and gram as base units of length, which are distance, capacity, and weight. The metric system is a system of measurement that uses the meter, liter, and gram as base units of length, which is distance, capacity, which is volume, and weight, which is mass. The metric system is also called the International System of Units, or SI. It was designed in the late 1700s as a way to simplify and standardize measurements. It is used today in most countries throughout the world and is accepted as the standard for measurements in both science and medicine. The base units that we will look at today for the metric system are liter, meter, and gram. Time is also a unit in the metric system. A liter is used to measure how much quantity or liquid an object can hold. Meter is used to measure how long or wide or tall an object is. And gram is used to measure how heavy an object is. Here are the metric prefixes. Remember, prefixes are used to place at the beginning of a word to create another word. We have kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, and milli. A kilo represents 1,000, hecto 100, deca 10. Deci represents 1/10 of a base unit, centi represents 1/100th of a base unit, and milli represents 1/1000th of a base unit. Here is an example of prefixes added to base units. We have kilometer, which is used for distance or length, kilogram, which is used for the mass, and kiloliter, which is volume. Here you can see where we have our prefix, kilo, remember it stands for 1,000, and then we have our base unit. We have meter, gram, and liter. This figure also shows us the arrangement of the metric units, which are smaller or bigger than the base unit. Here we have the units that are larger or bigger than the base unit, and to the right of the base unit we have the units that are smaller. As we move to the right of each unit, it is 10 times smaller, or 1/10 of the unit, to its left. As we move to the left of the base unit, the unit to the left of the base unit is bigger than the unit to the right. As we move to the left of each unit, the unit is 10 times greater than the unit to its right. Here we have a mnemonic which is going to help us to remember the order in which the prefixes come. It's King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. We have kilo that stands for the K in king. The H is hecto. D is deca. B is our base, which could be meter, liter, or gram. Then we have deci, centi, and milli, and they're all listed here. All right, so our base unit could be gram, liter, and meter, and we can add any of these prefixes to the base unit. Converting units within the metric system involves multiplying or dividing by powers of 10, which changes the placement of the decimal point. We multiply when moving from larger units to smaller units. Example, hectoliter to centiliter. The decimal moves to the right. We divide when moving from smaller units to larger units. For example, milligram to kilogram. The decimal moves to the left. Today we're going to practice converting between measurements two different ways. We're going to multiply by 10, and then I'm going to show you how to move the decimal point, which is the same thing as multiplying by 10. Cut. First, we're going to practice converting between measurements by multiplying by 10, and then I'm going to show you the same thing using our decimal. We're going to go from milligrams to grams, so I'm going to put a star by milligrams, and then I'm going to put a dot by grams, which is at our base. I'm also going to draw an arrow in the direction we're moving. We're moving from milligrams to grams. So we are moving to the left, which means we need to divide. We need to divide 10 divided by 10 divided by 10 by 2,320. This is the same thing as dividing by 1,000, and we can get that from how many zeros we have. When we divide 2,320 by 1,000, we get 2 and 32 hundredths. So 2,320 milligrams is the same as 2 and 32 grams. Next, we have 12 hectometers is equal to how many centimeters? So we're moving from hectometer. All right, and we're moving from hectometer to centimeter. So I'm going to put a star by hectometer or by hecto and a dot by centi. So we are going from hecto to centi. We're moving to the right, which means we're going to multiply. We are moving from a larger unit to a smaller unit. Now let's see how many tens we're going to be multiplying by. 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's going to bring us to centi. So we need 4 tens. 12 times 4 tens is the same thing as multiplying by 10,000. 12 times 10,000. You can pause the video and multiply by paper or by calculator. Your answer will be 120,000. So 12 hectometers is equal or equivalent to 120,000 centimeters. Next, we have 0 and 45 kilometers equals how many liters? So our base unit now is liters. And we are moving from a larger unit to a smaller unit, again, which means we're going to multiply. We have kiloliters here. I'm going to put a star beside it. And we have liters here at our base. And I'm going to put a dot. Again, we're multiplying. Let's see how many tens we're multiplying by 0 and 45. 1, 2, 3. 0 and 45 hundredths times 10 times 10 times 10 is the same thing as multiplying times 1,000. And when we multiply 0 and 45 hundredths times 1,000, what would we get? Take a moment and pause your video and try it out. You should have gotten 450. So 0 and 45 kiloliters is equivalent to 450 liters. Next, I'm going to show you the same exact thing, but we're going to physically move the decimal. In the number 480, the decimal is behind the last digit. We have 480 centiliters, and we would like to know how many kiloliters is that equivalent to, or does that equal? Centiliters is here, so we're going to put a star, and you can recreate this image by using the mnemonic we talked about at the beginning of the lesson. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. You take the first letter and use it for your prefixes. All right, so we're going from centi to kilo. I'm going to put a dot here. We're moving from here to here, so we're moving to the left. So our decimal is going to move to the left. We identify the starting and ending unit. Here we're starting and here's where we are ending. Now we're going to jump from centi to kilo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We moved 5 places to the left. Next, we're going to move the decimal the same number of spaces in the same direction that we moved on our chart. We have 480. We rewrite it with our decimal, and now we're going to move the decimal to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I like to make the last decimal larger than the first so that I can see where I moved it to. Next, we're going to add in zeros for placeholders. And let's rewrite our number. We have decimal 0, 0, 4, 8, 0. And we're going to put a 0 in front of our decimal. 5 centigrams equals how many milligrams? Pause the video, and I would like for you to go ahead and put a star where you start and a circle or a dot where you are ending. All right, so your star should be near centi and the dot should be near milli. So we are moving one place to the right. So go ahead and rewrite your number, pause the video, and convert from centigrams to milligrams. Your answer is 45 milligrams. We move the decimal one place to the right from where it started, and that's going to be 45 with your decimal here. But we don't need to write the decimal with it being a whole number and no numbers behind the decimal. And that's all for today. On behalf of the Danville Church-Based Tutorial Program, we would like to thank the United Way and Danville, Pittsylvania County Foundation for their continued support. See you next week.